Hey Taurus, welcome back. I need to talk to you about something that is happening in your energy right now. And honestly, when I pulled these cards for you, I just sat there for a moment because the message is so clear and so powerful. This is about someone in your life who has been completely dependent on your energy, your stability, your presence, and what happens when you finally cut that cord and walk away. The universe is showing me that you made a decision recently or you are about to make one. And that decision is going to have massive ripple effects in someone else's world. Before we dive into the cards, I just want you to know that if you have been feeling guilty about setting boundaries, about choosing yourself, about walking away from someone or something that was draining you, this reading is going to validate everything you have been feeling. The cards are not just confirming your decision. They are showing you exactly what happens on the other side when you remove your energy from situations and people who took it for granted. Let me pull the first card for you, Taurus. And I'm getting Queen of Pentacles. This card is coming through as you in this situation, and I need you to really understand what this means. The Queen of Pentacles is not just about material abundance or being good with resources. She represents someone who has been the foundation for others. You have been the person who holds everything together, the one who provides emotional stability, practical support, maybe even financial assistance. You are the one people come to when their life is falling apart because they know you will fix it, you will ground them. You will make everything okay again. But here is what the Queen of Pentacles is really showing me about your energy, Taurus. You have been operating from a place of such incredible generosity and nurturing that you did not even realize how much you were giving away. This is not about you being a doormat or weak. This is actually about you being so abundant in your own energy that you thought you could afford to keep giving and giving without it affecting you. The Queen of Pentacles sits on her throne surrounded by abundance. And that has been you, just naturally sharing your resources, your time, your emotional labor, your wisdom, your stability with someone who needed it. The thing is, there is someone specific in your life who became completely reliant on this energy from you. They built their entire sense of security around your presence. When they were anxious, you calmed them down. When they were broke, you helped them out. When they had no direction, you gave them guidance. When they felt lost, you became their anchor. And slowly, without either of you fully realizing it, they stopped developing their own Queen of Pentacles energy because why would they need to when they had access to yours whenever they wanted? This card is showing me that you are someone who creates stability wherever you go. You probably have your life relatively together compared to this person. You know how to manage your resources. You know how to stay grounded even when things get chaotic. You have built something solid for yourself. And this person saw that in you and just latched on. They did not necessarily do it maliciously, but they definitely did it consistently. Your energy became their safety net, and they got way too comfortable with that arrangement. Now let me pull the second card, and I'm getting Knight of Swords. This is the energy of the decision you made. And Taurus, I need you to understand how significant this moment was. The Knight of Swords does not mess around. This is not a slow fade. This is not gradually reducing contact. This is a swift, clear, decisive cut. You woke up one day and you just KNEW. You knew you were done. You knew you could not keep pouring into someone who was not refilling their own cup. You knew that this dynamic was not serving your highest good anymore. What I love about the Knight of Swords showing up here is that this card represents mental clarity cutting through all the emotional fog. Because let me guess, before you made this decision, there was probably a lot of confusion, right? A lot of going back and forth in your mind. A lot of wondering if you were being too harsh, if you should give them one more chance, if maybe you are not seeing their side clearly enough. The Knight of Swords is telling me that all of that confusion suddenly lifted and you saw the situation for exactly what it was. This card shows me that your decision came from a place of truth and clarity. You are not acting out of anger or spite or revenge. You are acting out of pure recognition that this pattern needed to end. The Knight of Swords charges forward with his sword raised, and that sword represents the power of truth and clear thinking. You cut through all the excuses, all the justifications, all the reasons you had been telling yourself for why you should stay. Connected to this person or this situation, I'm also seeing with the Knight of Swords that this decision happened fast, like maybe you were still somewhat involved with this person and then something happened. Some moment of clarity, some final straw, and you just moved immediately to protect yourself. You did not send long explanatory texts. You did not get drawn into endless conversations about it. You just made the decision and you executed it. The Knight of Swords is all about decisive action, and that is exactly what you did. You saw what needed to happen, and you did it without second-guessing yourself into paralysis. The speed of this card also tells me that once you made the decision, you did not leave room for negotiation. You did not leave the door cracked open. You did not give mixed signals. You did not do that thing where you say you are done, but then still respond to their messages. You are done. And that level of clarity and firmness is exactly what the Knight of Swords represents. You move with precision and purpose, and there was no ambiguity about your decision. Now here comes the third card, and this is where things get really interesting, Taurus. I am pulling Knight of Wands, and this card is showing me the illusion of who this person was presenting themselves to be. The Knight of Wands is all about passion, excitement, big plans, enthusiasm, adventure. This is someone who probably came into your life, or has been in your life, talking a big game. They had dreams, they had visions, they had goals. They were going to do this amazing thing, and that incredible thing. They presented themselves as someone who was full of fire and potential. Maybe they talked about starting a business, or traveling the world, or making big changes in their life, or pursuing some creative passion. The Knight of Wands energy is intoxicating because it is so alive and vibrant and full of possibility. And I think part of what kept you invested in this person for so long was that you genuinely believed in their potential. You saw the spark in them, you saw what they could become, and your Queen of Pentacles energy wanted to help nurture that spark into a flame. But here is what the Knight of Wands is really showing me about this person. All of that fire, all of that passion, all of those big dreams. They were sustained by your energy. They could afford to be the Knight of Wands. All enthusiasm and no follow-through. All ideas and no execution. Because they had you as their Queen of Pentacles, providing the stability and grounding that actually makes dreams reality. They were out here talking about all their plans while you were the one making sure the rent got paid, the responsibilities got handled. The real world stuff got taken care of. The Knight of Wands, without the grounding earth energy, becomes just smoke and mirrors. And that is what this person was. They were performing the role of someone who had their act together, someone who was going places, someone who was full of potential, but it was all dependent on them having access to your stable, abundant energy. They could play the exciting adventurer because you were home holding down the fort. They could be impulsive and spontaneous because you were the one being responsible and practical. Now let me show you the fourth card, because this is where we see what happens when you remove your energy from the equation. I am pulling the Star, and I need you to really pay attention to what this card is telling us. The Star traditionally represents hope, healing, renewal, inspiration. But in this reading, the Star is showing up reversed or in a shadow position. And this is what happened to this person after you cut them off. The Star is about having hope and faith in the future, about feeling inspired and optimistic, about being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. When you were in this person's life, you were their star, you were their hope. You were the thing that made them feel like everything was going to be okay. You were their inspiration and their reminder that life could be good and stable and abundant. Your presence in their life was what allowed them to maintain any sense of optimism about their future. But the moment you removed yourself, the moment you cut that energetic cord, their star went dark. Suddenly, they are in a space where they have no hope, no inspiration, no sense that things are going to work out. Because here is the hard truth, Taurus. They never developed their own inner star. They never cultivated their own sense of hope and faith because they were always borrowing yours. They never had to learn how to inspire themselves because your energy was always there to lift them up. Asterisk, what I am seeing with the Star here is that this person is now in a complete crisis of faith. Not necessarily religious faith, but faith in themselves, faith in their future, faith in their ability to make things work. Everything feels dark and hopeless to them right now because the light they were navigating by, which was you, is gone. They are realizing just how much they were depending on your energy to feel okay about their life and their prospects. The Star also represents healing. And what this card is showing me is that this person had unhealed wounds that they were never actually addressing because your presence was acting like a band-aid over them. You were soothing their anxiety, You were filling their emptiness. You were providing the validation and security that they should have been developing from within. And now that band-aid has been ripped off, and they are face to face with all of that unhealed stuff, and they have no idea how to deal with it on their own. Let me pull the fifth card for you, and I am getting the Emperor. Now this is powerful, Taurus, because the Emperor is showing me the structure and order that you represented in this person's life. The Emperor is about leadership, authority, stability, discipline, boundaries. Everything that this person was lacking, you were providing. You were the one setting boundaries when they had none. You were the one providing structure when their life was chaos. You were the one bringing discipline and order to situations that they let spiral out of control. The Emperor sits on his throne and rules his domain with strength and wisdom. That was you in this person's life. You were the authority figure, the one who knew what to do, the one who had it together. And just like the star, when you removed yourself, they lost their Emperor energy too. They have no idea how to create structure in their life without you. They do not know how to set boundaries because you are always the one doing it. They do not know how to be disciplined and consistent because they never had to develop that muscle when you were around. What I am seeing very clearly with the Emperor is that this person's life is falling into chaos right now. All of the systems and structures that were holding their life together were actually systems and structures that you created or maintained or supported. Maybe you were the one who reminded them to pay their bills on time. Maybe you were the one who encouraged them to go to work even when they did not feel like it. Maybe you were the one who set healthy boundaries with other toxic people in their life. Maybe you were the one who provided the discipline they needed to actually follow through on anything. The Emperor also represents the masculine energy of taking action and making things happen in the material world. And this person is discovering right now that without you, they have no idea how to actually manifest anything in reality. They are great at dreaming like that Knight of Wands, but terrible at executing like the Emperor. And you are the bridge between those two energies for them. You are taking their wild ideas and helping them become real, grounding their enthusiasm into actual results. Now, Taurus, here comes the final card, and this one is significant. I am pulling King of Pentacles, and this is showing me the ultimate outcome of you cutting your energy off from this person. The King of Pentacles represents mastery over the material world, wealth, abundance, success, stability at the highest level. And what this card is telling me is that your energy is now moving toward King of Pentacles manifestation because you are no longer pouring it into a bottomless pit. See, you have been operating as the Queen of Pentacles, giving and nurturing and supporting. But you are not able to fully step into your King of Pentacles power because so much of your energy and resources were being drained by this person. The King of Pentacles is what happens when the Queen of Pentacles stops giving her power away and starts investing it in her own empire. This is you building your kingdom now, not helping someone else pretend to build theirs. The King of Pentacles is also showing me the contrast between where you are heading and where this person is stuck. While you are moving toward greater abundance, success, and mastery, they are falling apart because they never learned how to be their own King or Queen of Pentacles. They were always dependent on yours, and now they are learning the hard lesson that you cannot build a kingdom on borrowed land. You cannot create lasting success and stability by leeching off someone else's energy. This card is telling me that you are about to see some major wins in your life, Taurus. Things are going to start clicking into place for you in ways they have not before. Opportunities are going to open up. Your finances are going to improve. Your career is going to advance. Your personal sense of power and capability is going to expand. And all of this is happening because you took back your energy from someone who was squandering it. The King of Pentacles sits on his throne surrounded by the fruits of his labor, everything he has built through his own wisdom and effort. That is your future, not because you are being selfish or cold, but because you finally recognize that you cannot save someone who does not want to save themselves, and you cannot build someone else's foundation for them. They have to do that work themselves, and here is what I am seeing as the ultimate message from these cards, Taurus. This person's life is falling apart right now. Not because you cursed them or because you wished anything bad on them, but simply because their entire sense of stability and hope and structure was built on a foundation that was not theirs. It was yours, and when you took your foundation back because you need it for your own building projects, their house of cards collapsed. They are probably going through it right now. They are probably feeling lost and hopeless, and like everything is going wrong. And maybe part of you feels guilty about that. Maybe you are wondering if you should reach out and check on them. Maybe you are questioning if you did the right thing. But Taurus, I need you to hear this clearly. Their collapse is not your responsibility. Their inability to function without you is not your problem to solve. You tried to help them build their own foundation, and they refused to do the work. They preferred to just keep using yours. The cards are showing me that this person might try to come back. They might reach out with a sob story about how hard things are now. They might try to guilt you or manipulate you or promise they have changed. But remember the Knight of Swords energy. Remember that clarity you felt when you made the decision to cut them off. Remember that you saw the truth of the situation and you acted on it. Do not let temporary guilt or their crisis pull you back into a dynamic that was slowly draining the life out of you. Your energy is yours. Your stability is yours. Your abundance is yours. And you get to decide who has access to it. The Queen of Pentacles is generous, but she's not stupid. She knows the difference between helping someone grow and enabling someone to stay stuck. You were doing the latter and you finally woke up to it. What I am seeing for your future is beautiful, Taurus. As you step more fully into that King of Pentacles energy, as you invest in yourself and your own dreams and your own stability, you are going to look back on this decision as one of the most important ones you ever made. You are going to see clearly how much of your own potential you were sacrificing to prop up someone who was not willing to meet you halfway. This reading is confirmation that you did the right thing. The person's life falling apart is not evidence that you were mean or cruel. It is evidence that they were never actually standing on their own 2 feet to begin with. They were standing on yours, and you have every right to reclaim your ground and build your own castle on it. So if you have been feeling guilty, release it. If you have been second-guessing yourself, stop. If you have been wondering if you should reach out, do not. You made the right decision. The universe is confirming it. And your life is about to get so much better because you finally chose yourself. I hope this reading resonated with you, Taurus. If it did, let me know in the comments what you are experiencing right now. Are you feeling the shift? Are you seeing this person struggle without your energy? Are you starting to feel your own power coming back to you? I would love to hear your story. Take care of yourself. Protect your energy. And remember that choosing yourself is never selfish. It is necessary.